I think that there is not a lot of places who are critical, subversive, and in some way creative, like Metelkova. Ljubljana is actually one of the places that are pretty hostile to street art, in my opinion, because there are like 10 places when you can legally express yourself through this medium, and Metelkova is one of them.
Of the idea to have Metelkova as a cultural center here in Ljubljana was idea connected with the demilitarization of the cities after the independence of Slovenia. Because in Yugoslavia it was very common that military has a military basis inside the cities, and this new concept with the new country was that all military places should be outside of the city. So this Metelkova was one of the military barracks. So the place was empty, and the group who started this project was called Network for Metelkova. It was consisted from the many cultural associations and individuals who are working on the cultural field, and they noticed the lack of the spaces here in Ljubljana. Especially when it comes to ateliers for individuals, for artists to work, and then public venues, because in that period Ljubljana didn't really have public venues for, alternative cultural events. So Metelkova looked like a kind of a perfect place. At the same time, when Network for Metelkova was lobbying with the city to get the place for the cultural center, some other interests who wanted to get this area, just demolish the whole place down and build something else. The myth story goes that one Friday night somebody was passing near Metelkova and heard the noise from outside, inside. He looked and he saw the construction workers already starting demolishing the middle center of Metelkova. The holes that you see now in one of those holes where this statue David is one of the symbolic holes that are from that period, which kind of remind us that the place was almost demolished. So it was the time when there was no mobile phones or anything, so he just ran to the pub where everybody were gathering and spread the news. And in 1 or 2 hours there was around 200-300 people jumping through the fence with sleeping bags and squatted the whole place down. So in the meantime, city was they were angry, so they cut off the electricity, water and everything. But people here persisted. There was always problems, how to activate the basic infrastructure. And then, of course, every 2 years you got information that somebody will buy this place or that the city has some kind of ideas to build something here.
We have here gallery spaces like Gallery Alcatraz. Then we have clubs, like approximately 6 clubs. It's this Jala Jala, Klub Gromka, then Menza Prikoritu. We have also some kind of non-formal groups which are running the not really club, but it's more program, like film program, some presentation, some round tables about some topics, and they are more anarchistic group, and the space is called Info Shop. Then we have a residency place also. approximately between 20 and 30 studios for the artist, and this is it, I think.
There are a lot of contradictions in Metelkova. Metelkova lives on contradictions. When you take a look at the beginnings, the history of Metelkova, you would see that the people who formed the idea of Metelkova, they weren't actually united in what they thought what's going to be here. So you had a coalition of people who wanted to have very institutional, formal cultural center here. There were also people who wanted to have a more non-hierarchical organization like it is today. I mean, organization, let's say community.
I mean, it started as a alternative cultural project, which was really diverse when it comes to people who participated. I mean, the network for Metelkova, for example, wanted that Metelkova would be a legal cultural center, but then, you know, the development, I mean, it just happened that it became a squat. And when it became a squat, there was a line who was more keen to the anarchist movement. So there was always this debate, what is now Metelkova? Is it going to be legal at one point, or should we be always, you know, like kind of resisting to the main culture and so on? So, and this is going on for 23 years.
Everywhere you look, actually, there are people thinking differently about the space and about the way it should be. So it's really a polyphony of voices, I would say.
Like Celica and the youth hostel and this building Hunter, because they are not anymore this Metelkova, squat Metelkova, but they are separately from this story. The youth hostel, you had the group which were squatted, also the place like in the 93, but from the beginning they have really structured idea what they would like to transform this building of Celica, and this go in other direction like the other Metelkova. We are having also in Metelkova some kind of touristification of Metelkova, which is in one way good for Metelkova, but on the other way it's I don't know if Metelkova community wants that.
We have very different views when it comes to tourism in Metelkova. Some people like that Metelkova is attracted by tourists because that means that it's more known publicly. It helps us in a fight when we have problems with the government institutions. Also, people are happy because tourists are coming here, and if they come in the evening, you know, they buy stuff and so on. So that's sort of a kind of an income also. There are also some regular visitors who are supporters all these years of Metelkova and find it this tourist burst that came now, that actually it's not so cozy place anymore, Metelkova, you know. You feel like your identity, your safety, your safe place is kind of violated, you know. You don't feel so safe anymore and cozy and homely and so on. This feeling is sometimes gone. We found our own ways how to organize things, how we organize ourselves. It's much more informal. Sometimes you make a bit more mainstream events, sometimes you make more specific event just for a kind of a specific public and so on. And this is how you manage to survive in a way. If you're lucky enough that there is no such outside pressure, or from the government, or from the some third party, which force you to evict or force you to legalize.
if this place get this kind of legalization that city authorities think that should be, they will have a power, and when they will just unplug us. So this legalization, it's some kind unacceptable for Metelkova, because we will lose it, the autonomy, we will lose it, the Metelkova as we have it now.
But I think this is with every squat, every squat in one point when it goes out from ghettoization, from this first squatting period where you squat the place, you put the basic infrastructure, you start to work on program. Every squat is faced with the decision, or should be more open or should be more exclusive, and here in Slovenia, unfortunately, I think, and not just in Slovenia, I think that only squats who are more open survive at the end. If you are exclusive, then there is a very small population coming, and if this population goes away, you don't have so much support anymore. You can invite bands to play, but if nobody will show up on shows, who are you doing it for?
Art, you cannot control it. You just need to give opportunity to creativity spontaneously, not just giving art in some kind of regulation. For this reason, we have Rock and Metelkova, who had their own non-regulation way that, as we call urban autonomy, where for artistic intervention you don't need any permission. You just came and express yourself if you have the space, because it's limitation of the space also in Metelkova. So for this reason we need in the city more Metelkovas, more rocks, and more open spaces.